Welcome back to our latest Anno 1800 series, modded with the New Horizon mod, which opens a whole new region in Asia. It's this region over here. We've already done quite a bit, so don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see those previous episodes. In particular, in the last episode, we unlocked two new regions, the Arctic over here and Enbesa over there. And I had already done quite a bit of advancements. We're gonna try to do even more, potentially kind of finish both of those regions in this episode and do much more. So let's dive in. Starting with the Arctic, where, as I was saying, I think we've pretty much done it all. There is one production we haven't done, and I'm gonna talk about it. But apart from this, look at this. Those technicians, they are comfortable and they are 40 out of 40. We're giving them everything on the normal needs, everything for heat, and everything for lifestyle need, including for the first time regional mail. So yes, I had to create another small population hub for this regional mail. We are bringing, things from the new world, like the rum, the mezcal, and the motors. Things from the old world, like the dynamite, as well as also, coffee from the new world and canned food from the old world. And then there's two new productions. We have over here the Husky sled, and we have over there the parkas. So these are the two productions you can see over here. First parka, we have one parka factory over here. We have the seal hunting dogs or seal skin that's still needed. That comes from the same island. Where is it? Over here. That's this island there. We're already producing it. We're bringing it. And then we have a new one, which is the bear hunting cabin, which you can find over here. Now, something really interesting, by the way, is that for many of the buildings in the Arctic, they require a range like this, right? But actually, different types of building you can kind of put on top of each other. So, for example, the range of this charcoal clean doesn't really impact the range of this bear hunt. They can be very close to each other. So don't hesitate to mix and match, I would say. So that's the first one, the Parker factory. And then the second was the Husky sled, which I've put one over here. You have the Husky sled factory. Then that requires sled frame, which is at the bottom over here. It's a very small one, which will require the wood. We're already making wood over here, and a bit more of seal skins. And then on top of this, you're gonna need the Husky farm, and this is a 2-minute production. So you're gonna need at least two if you want, to go to 1 minute. And so yeah, we have one on this side with 4 of these, livestock areas. This also requires heat, by the way, so you can't put it in the middle of nowhere. And same on this side, we have a second one. I did also build this airship platform, otherwise we can't deliver any of the mail, right? We could only have the local mail, but now we have this airship platform, and we have the air mail sorting office over here. Now you can see for the regional, it's actually at 0, but it's stable. Like I'm making just enough basically, versus for local and air overseas, we're totally fine. We're making a lot of it. So yeah, we have, and sorry, last thing I forgot to show you is, of course, we have the post office to actually create this mail. The post office is over here. I think I have actually a second one somewhere over here, just to increase my storage, because these give 50 of storage, right? So that's pretty good to increase the storage, and in particular make sure we can transport some overseas mail. For the overseas mail, it's actually coming from the old world, not from the Cape Colony, but I added, on Beard Island over here, I added also those post offices. We have one there, two, a third, and I think we also have some very small post box here and somewhere over there to cover it all. I mean, let me show you. The coverage is very, very good. There it is. So we have a very good coverage of my people, producing therefore a lot of mail. And so I've been giving it, as local mail. And with the platform, we are most importantly starting to send this mail, right, as overseas mail for the Arctic. I'm not sending it back here because I don't really need more money, and I wanted to make sure that we had enough. So yes, I'm giving everything to my people. They had the max, and we've done most of the production. There are a couple of local productions that are not really new, but are interesting to look at. The first one is the prime hunting cabin. This will require the fur fertility and will produce some fur. So it's exactly the same as what you have in the old world over here, except in the old world, this is taking 1 minute to produce, one fur, so 1 per minute. With the one in the Arctic, we can produce, at 15 seconds. So that means we can produce 4 per minute. So it's a really great way to produce it. If you don't have a lot of space in the old world, you can use it over here, produce a lot. Similarly, we have the deep gold mine. These ones, they produce at 1 minute. They do require also quite a lot of the second tier population, the technicians, and they also require heat. So it's not like you can just, for example, this one, I can build it, but then that means I need to bring heat, which means I need to also bring some more charcoal. It's not impossible. We can definitely do it. I think we have started. We have one mine over here, for example, and we have the workforce. So let's do this. But I did want you to highlight to you that it's not like completely free either. It does take a bit of organization and a bit of population, but it's possible. So let's add one more there, up and done, right? So you need something a bit like this. You're gonna need some heat. You're gonna need therefore some coal, a warehouse, and then this deep gold mine. So it's gonna start as soon as, this gets some coal. It's starting, and so that deep mine is gonna start too. So this is 1 minute, 1 per minute, right? So we're producing now 2 per minute. Let's compare to the new world. In the new world, if we take any of our gold mines, here it is, we have one. What are these producing at? These, this is not a normal one, so let's just take a normal one. Where do I have a normal gold mine? Maybe over here, yeah. Okay, so if we look at this, all right, this is producing at 140, but this is because I have the plus 50% of working conditions. Without it, this would be 2 minute production, right? We can check it over here. Yeah, this is 2 minutes 30 seconds. Sorry, it's even worse. It's 2 minutes 30 seconds, and it also takes 100 of obreros, the second tier population. So it is definitely a lot better to do it again in the Arctic if you can. But it's not like you have that much, right? Like we have 2 gold mine deposits on this one. We have 1 on that island. We have 2 here. So it can add up for sure, but it will require you, again, the second tier of population, the heat, etc. So it's not that easy. And then last but not least, we have the Arctic gas mine. Now, this used to be a bit important. Now I think it's completely useless, to be honest, given that we have over here on Manola and all the other islands, the helium that we can use. But this gas can still be used for one thing kind of unique, which is this electricity, this gas power plant. Now you won't even be able to place it in the Arctic, but what you can do is you can build it, get it in the Arctic, and then send it to your old world, either this old world or the Cape Trelawney. Right, I know a lot of people use it in particular kind of over here at the back of the Cape Trelawney, where it's quite hard to get your oil, to get all the way there to get electricity. You can put those gas power plants because they won't need a railway. They will just be built. I don't remember where they are though, so give me a second to find them. Here it is, in your investors. This will require 250 of the engineers, and as I said, you can place it anywhere. You'll just need a warehouse, and it will provide electricity to around. So that can be the one use, but it is not that easy because you don't have any gas on any of these islands over here. You only have gas on the 4 plateaus. There are 4 plateaus like these where you need to go there through airships, right? Your ships will not be able to get there. There is no kind of trading post. The only thing you'll be able to do is send airships. And then there is also no fertility. So you'll not be able to produce any of the basic resource over here, like the food, etc. You'll have to bring it with those airships too. So those plateaus are definitely a bit harder to manage. I did do that in many of my previous playthroughs. So don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see this. But I don't think we're going to do it in this one. I think we have done what we wanted, which was to 1, get everything unlocked, and 2, have those productions like the goose feathers, etc., that we can then send to the other regions. And I've even already started to do one. I have started to send goose feathers to Enbesa because this was one of the lifestyle need for these elders. Look at this. It is over here, goose feathers, 2 elders and 2 coins that needs to come from the Arctic. You can't get it anywhere else. But yeah, with this, as you can see for my elders in Enbesa, first of all, I have a few more than at the end of the last episode, and I'm starting to give them a lot more things, in particular, all of the lifestyle needs from other regions. So the soap and sewing machines from the old world, the cotton fabric, herbs, and orchids from the new world. I've started to give all of this. We have also, unlocked with this many things. We've unlocked many new things, but we haven't started to make them. We're going to make them together. I also see we have a small problem on finery. That seems strange. I'm sorry, I didn't show you, but let me show you quickly before we move on, that in the Arctic, we are producing everything fine. Right? If we look at all of this comes from the old one and new world via ships, but for the local productions, totally fine on the pemmican, sleeping bags, oil lamps, parkas, and a ski sled. Maybe in the future we'll have, to increase those production to send them somewhere else, but for now, totally fine. If we look at the intermediate products, that's the same. We're fine on sleds. This comes from the other regions. Agricultural product, whale oil is all good. Caribou meat, seal, comes from that other island. So let me add it. Here it is. Producing 4, we need 3. We have the goose feathers, and if I add tambourine, you will see that we're still producing enough goose feathers, so all good there. And yeah, what else? The bear fur, the husky, so all good everywhere. It is worth noting that in the Arctic, you cannot actually change working condition. If I try to click here, it doesn't do anything. So you have to keep that in mind. But yeah, we have everything working there. On the other island, as I said, we have started to produce some mail. We are not giving it to my people because this is really not a lot that we're producing. And also I wanted to keep it below the 100 of explorers so that I don't need to give them anything except the canteen. I don't need to bring any production or make any production. I am slightly, lower in workforce, -9, which means that, they are not working at 100%. They're working at like 89% for this one, and same for that one. It's not working at the maximum productivity, but that is still working. It's enough, if you wish. So all good there, right, with this one. I think, by the way, we don't need all of these resources, so we can start bringing them back to my main island. And in the future, we can develop more islands like this one. I did colonize already if we want, but we don't have to either. Going back to Enbesa, this is really where I think we need to start doing things. I did do a couple of things over here, as you can see, and clearly we're going to need to start upgrading some of these, even they cost a lot of resources. So let's get started. In this one, sorry, I forgot to check indeed this one. What was the problem? Are we not making enough? Oh yeah, we're not making enough. Okay, my bad. This is normal. We've just increased a lot of the productions, but we haven't really, follow up with. We've increased the population, but we haven't followed up with more production. So that's the goal of this episode. Let's align all of these to the same. Okay, we're gonna also upgrade that one and that one just to make them all align, even it's probably not needed. So let me show you quickly what do we have here indeed. We already had this piece over here, which was mainly doing a bit of goat, which was doing my linen through a lot of linseed over here. You can see a lot of linseed and a bit of linen. And this was going into those embroiders over there. Then we have next to it the hibiscus, where hibiscus flowers, that was going to make some tea. And we also had all of these Senga farms over there, which was making sanga cows, and with a bit of salt from these salt works, we were making the dry meat. So that's, I think, where we got to at the end of the last episode, providing all of those things here, providing all of those things, and therefore being ready to upgrade to the next level. Oh, she keeps buying shares of my islands. If I'm not careful, she's gonna just buy it all together. But yeah, we were ready to upgrade. Now we have started to upgrade. So let's start looking at the elders. The first thing you'll want to do is mud bricks. So I have 2 of those mud bricks, what is it called? Mud bricks dry house over here, because this is 1 minute production, so it takes quite a while. And this is the equivalent of your bricks, right? We have the Wanza timber, that's the equivalent of your timber, and the mud bricks, that's the equivalent of your bricks. This will require some clay. You can bring it from the old world, but you may want to do it here because this is a 15-second production for not a lot, right? 35 of tier 1 people. It does require 1 river slot, so we're using this one over here. We still have 3 other river slots for the water pumps, so I'm not worried. But yeah, we have 1 over there. It delivers here. Maybe in the future we'll put a warehouse on this side, but all good. And then it requires a second thing, which is the teff. The teff is a bit the equivalent of corn in the new world, because this is what you're gonna use also for your silos. Your agricultural silos, we can start putting a first one over here, for example. For this to work, it will require some teff. And if it does, obviously, that's going to boost the production, again, similar to the new world. So I have started to make some teff production. We have 1 over here, 1 there that is not full, but covering nicely on this side. And then another one here and another one there. So quite a few teff production, because again, we're gonna need it for some of the new productions like the bricks, but also for the silos. I didn't even check, actually, to be honest, if we are at equilibrium. We'll check that a bit later. First, I wanted to show you some of the other production. If we start going down, you can see many others, and some of them have started, some of them I haven't started at all. So the next one here is the ceramic workshop. This will also use a bit of clay, but it will also use indigo dye. And the problem is I don't have indigo dye on this island. So we're gonna need to get into a new island. Probably, yeah, this one has indigo dye, but maybe doesn't have something else. So we'll have to check if we want this one or another one. I'll check in a second. Actually, no, what I'm gonna do, sorry, 1 second, is we should probably send this and that to Enbesa, because we don't really need them here anymore. We're gonna keep that guy there because it's getting ready to actually do sailing to to continue the story, basically. But we'll do that a bit later. First, let me show you. So indeed, we need the clay and the indigo. We don't have indigo yet, so I've paused this production for now. Then we have the tapestry loom. That's the next one. This is going to take some linen. Good thing we're making linen. I may need to... Oh, war declare on us from Jean de la Fortune. That's not good, because that means he can start creating problems for me in my trade routes. So let's see if he's okay with the ceasefire. Yeah, he's okay with the ceasefire. Peace treaty 2. Or not. Yeah, okay. So that was fine. That was fine. Anyway, yes, for the next one, it's linen. We may need to increase it, but at least it's not new. And again, the indigo. So we're gonna need indigo for sure. Then next one is over here. Look at, oh, there was also the police station. I added it there and there. Then it is the seafood stew. The seafood stew will require first a wet kitchen. And in this wet kitchen, you'll need spice flour and you'll need also lobster. Lobster is again something that I don't have, the fertility on this island. So that is why I'm saying maybe we will actually take another. Oh, well, this one did have lobster, but not the other thing. Well, I need to make sure I take one with lobster before she takes them all. Okay. What do we actually need to create a new island in this? I forgot. It's probably, you probably need a bit of this and a bit of that. So let me just go over there, try to see if there's another island. But yeah, we have also a mission there. You can check it later. But we're gonna need basically this lobster and this spice flower. This spice flower is in a teff mill. We're gonna take more teff and some spice. Now we could make spice in the new world with the hacienda, or you can make it here locally. This is the same spice. The building is this one over here. It does require fertile land, right? Which is why I've extended a bit also these canals over here. But we are doing pretty good. We have 3 of them basically, yeah, fully working 100%. So that should be fine for quite a while. That is, the last production I have placed, but there is a few more that we've unlocked now. We've unlocked also the clay pipe. Now the clay pipe is going to take a bit more clay again. So good thing that this is 15 seconds. It will take a clay pipe, building. So let's build it too. I'm building all of these over here because this is not fertile land, right? So it should be a good place for many of these. We have discovered an island. This has indigo, this has lobster and hibiscus and linseed. So this is a pretty good one. It could also, yeah, it has only 1 river slot, but no, I think I like it. Let's see, can I take it before she does? Because Beryl doesn't ask me permission to take island. She just takes island whenever she wants to. There it is, we can. Cost me a bit of influence, but as you can see, I have a lot of influence right now. Not so much because I have created a lot more influence than, at the end of the last episode, but mainly because I forgot at one point to do the newspaper, and so I have a lot of, influence not used from there. Okay, so we've taken that island. I think this is a good start for, expansion soon. I do have, wait, one of these, yes. This guy, we're going to tell him to also go there now to deliver the Wanza. And we can do the same one for the mud brick later. So, okay, let's continue. We said for the clay, we're gonna need some clay and we're gonna need some tobacco that comes from the new world, right? So that's another production that I need to set up. And a town hall, hospital, okay. So definitely good to have an hospital. Put one on each side. And then the illuminated script. This will take a bit more of indigo. This will also take a luminaire building. And this will require paper. Okay, so the paper mill, you can also put it on a river slot. I could potentially put it there because I am actually not using that much. I'm using only 260 out of the 750. So if I delete it, I will go down to 500, but that's not bad. That also means I may not need these ones there actually. Let me see if I take them out. Are they? Yeah, I think we still have the same fertility. So I gain a few more fields. Then we said the paper. Okay, we will need a road, of course. Let me see if I go there. Not very straight, but okay, it's fine. We'll need a warehouse. Okay, so this will start creating paper as long as we have wood. Unfortunately, the wood cannot be made here, so we will have to bring wood. So now I know I need to bring wood, and I need to bring also the tobacco, the 2 new things. And then we're gonna need the luminaire, of course, right? I'm gonna pause it again, because right now we don't have the resources, but we know we need all of this. Then spectacles, they are showing us spectacles just because it is needed as one of the luxury needs. So that's one more thing to bring. We can, if we want, use fuel station and use tractors on these farms. I'm not gonna do it because that would increase the complexity over here by quite a lot. Then we have a few more, defenses and the pier if we want to make sure, there's a lot of space to transport. So all good there. And then last but not least in terms of production, we have the lanterns. The lanterns is gonna take some glass. it's also gonna require some ornate candles. And for those ornate candles, we're gonna need, you know, the apiary, which is a fertility I don't have over here, and the cotton plantation. I don't think we had actually the apiary. Yeah, we don't have it here either. So we will need to either take this island or that island, or yeah. So we need basically to take another island. So let's do that right away before she somehow gets the wrong idea and takes it. Especially this island here, right? It's just next door. Let's put the beach on the right. Oh, we only have one place to put. Oh, we have a place here. So is it better to put it here or to put it there? In both cases, we need to go around the mountain, but I think this is closer. Okay, so we're gonna get that one for, you know, the apiary. And I need to actually make those buildings. So let's go. We're gonna put one over here. We need then this one too. Right, and for now, maybe let's just do a simple thing like this. I may need also a police station, even if my happiness should be fine. You know, we're pushing none of the production, at least so far, and I am giving many of the things, at least for my shepherd, and we're gonna do it for the elders just now. Oh, newspaper finally. So let's do some. We have not enough, so we're gonna get a bit of a problem there, but okay. So yeah, like I said in the previous episode, I'm not gonna do all of the stories, but I do want to, you know, get them done. So I'll done them offline. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see my previous Let's Plays, where I have definitely done a lot of these. The Inuit over here is, you know, a trader. It does offer some seal skin if you don't want to create a second island for that, but I had to create it anyway for the regional mail. I don't know why the mission is not starting now, because I'm there. I'm there. Is it maybe this one? Ah, here it is. We can begin. I think it was this one actually, so my bad. So we need to follow the boat. It's basically going to go, you know, here. Then it's gonna go there all the way to here, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's gonna say, oh, you're stuck. And then you're gonna need to start going, you know, here and there. And this is also where, you know, the concept of airships obviously comes into play. Similarly, in Enbesa, there's quite a few stories. We have, you know, the pirates over here, for example. We have, I don't know, an old temple there that, you know, we could rebuild if we wanted. We have the library there, entrance to the library. So there's quite a lot of stories coming over here. There is also the story linked to the architects or the scholars. So I'm gonna do all of these offline. I think what I'll also do is I will complete, you know, create 2 new small, you know, villages over here, so that we have all of the productions finished for the Enbesa, you know, people. Bring obviously a few things also from the new world or an old world. And then I'll see you very soon in our next episode for the result on this. I hope you're still enjoying this one, having tons of fun being back, you know, into Anno 1800. It's really great, especially also to have this whole new region. And remember that we're going to also have in the old world, sorry, wrong one, I wanted to go to the Cape. We're going to have access to a completely new tier of population in the old world too, which is called the Magnet. We cannot do it yet because we need 1 more needs of the steam carriages, but this is probably coming definitely in, you know, 1 or 2 episodes. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.